Hey, how's everybody doing on this Friday evening? This is a reaction video to the Thursday Night Football and the Flyers game again. Um, Pertaining to the Thursday Night Football, Big Ben was able to pass Warren Moon for eighth all time on the passing yards list. So congratulations to Big Ben Roethlisberger on that. Antonio Brown, who happens to be on one of my fantasy team, destroyed, which was great. The guy had 3 touchdowns. He had the helmet catch, which is making David Tyree jump for joy somewhere. Um, and overall, the Pittsburgh Steelers look like that team many people thought they would look like most of the year. And the Titans aren't a joke of a team either. They're a pretty good opponent. Marcus Mariota looked very bad yesterday. Does some of it have to do with the fact that many people say Mariota tends to be a more quiet quarterback, which at that position you expect the guy to be a little bit more vocal? Maybe. But he did just miss some throws and overthrew some guys. And you being accurate and making good passes and being able to hit your target doesn't really have much of anything to do with whether you're vocal or not. I think it might have more to do with the fact that the dude's playing through a couple injuries, and the Titans really don't have another guy to go to as their backup, unless if, of course, they want to sign the hard pressed. No one wants to sign in the NFL for whatever reason, Colin Kaepernick. But Mariota, if he's able to stay on the field, is most likely going to stay on the field because he's proven enough over his few years in the league that when he's going and gets going, he can not carry your team, but be part of the backbone of your team. Yeah, it was just a bad performance by him on Thursday Night Football and a good performance by Big Ben. And obviously a great performance by Antonio Brown. Looking at the things here, Antonio Brown had 144 yards on 13 targets, and his 41 yards was the longest. Le'Veon had 57 yards receiving. Like I was saying yesterday, the dude's a good receiving back and running back, obviously, and he can do it all. That's why he's been one of the best in the league for a while and will continue to do so for the next few years at least. Juju Smith had 47 yards, 18-yard, biggest one. Martavius Bryant didn't really do much of anything. And then in terms of running, Le'Veon had 46 yards, but they really were pass first and more passing yesterday, the Steelers, because you take what you get and you take whatever works. And yesterday, Big Ben was killing it, Antonio Brown was killing it, and the receivers were getting open. So smartfully enough, a guy like Mike Tomlin, who's one of the best coaches in the NFL, went to his strengths and went to what the team was giving you and passed the ball all around in circles on those Tennessee Titans. And if we're looking at the Titans stats, obviously I was saying Mariota had a terrible game. He had 4 interceptions, only 1 touchdown. He actually had 306 yards, so his yardage was good. But his completion percentage also wasn't too bad. 22 for 33 isn't awful. But those 4 interceptions really surpass anything else the guy did. And their rushing game was non-existent. Henry had 32 yards, which is what I thought they would be able to lean back on if their passing game wasn't working, and that just didn't work. Pittsburgh just pounded them and stopped them, and I thought the game would be a lot closer than it was. I thought the Steelers would win, but congratulations on the Steelers for having that first big game that we've been wanting them to have for most of the season, and that most scouts and analysts have been expecting them to have for most of the season. I'm moving on to the Flyers. Flyers again. Brian Elliott looked great again. Cooch was able to get a goal in, and Jake was able to get a goal in. Voracek, or Skoracek if you want to call him that. So again, it's our first line that got both of our goals. Our fourth line looks great though, with Lawton, Lear, and Raffle. It's just all those guys haven't been able to get a point yet, but they've been getting good chances. So eventually, with chances come depositing goals. But with the Flyers, there's been many and far less goals. So hopefully that changes soon. and we're able to turn this around and go on a streak in the opposite direction, because we have the talent and the ability to go on those streaks like we had when we were scoring good earlier in the year, and now we're just on a hard stretch. At least yesterday, though, I predicted the game will get into overtime, so I got that right, but unfortunately it was on a goal that was with 40-something seconds left. And what happened with the whole Gudis thing was that should have been a major penalty. I agree with that, and I think most people do. It should have been a major penalty and probably a game misconduct. But the way it was handled, it wasn't called a major or a game misconduct initially, and you saw the refs gathered to talk about it pretty far after the initial call, and it seemed like one of them looked up to the scoreboard, and through the league rules, that's not legal. So it seemed like they used scoreboard refereeing, like I tweeted about yesterday, and that's not a thing that's supposed to be allowed to happen. So that hurt us in more ways than I think we could imagine, because you saw in the second period the Jets were in our zone more, and they were able to get more scoring chances throughout the second and third and play better throughout the course of the game, which you have to give a lot of that credit to the Jets, who have great players also. But I think we would have done a lot better with him in the game, because a lot of our defensemen just look gassed, especially in overtime. A lot of them couldn't get back for certain plays because they've been in a lot, because we were down one guy pretty much the entire game. What I found funny yesterday was Gudis still got the check of the game, which was great because he laid a guy out before he got thrown out. But tomorrow we play Calgary, and I think that game, since it's at home, we've been playing really good at home this year, minus like a game or two. I think we're going to be able to take that game at 1 o'clock. Then the Sixers play Golden State at night. I think that'll be a much closer game at home. I'm not predicting the Sixers to win because that will be a hard-fetched prediction. But I will say I wouldn't be shocked if they win, because even certain Golden State players have said that they think it's going to be a lot tougher to play the Sixers at home, and they were impressed how they played them in Golden State for most of the game in San Fran. And then we fell off at the end. So they even admitted themselves they think it'll be tougher at home. So I think that'll be a much better game throughout the whole game than it was when we played in San Francisco. And I think it's going to be an exciting one to watch. Another game I'm looking forward to watching tomorrow is the college football, USC versus UCLA, because I would love to see the matchup of Josh Rosen versus Sam Darnold, two of the better QBs. And I think that'll be a good one. Anyway, I have a video later with my predictions of what I think is going to happen for the college football games. Have a good day, everyone. Peace. Have a nice, safe Friday night. Peace out.